everyone. This is your host, David John Oates, broadcasting to you live from Adelaide, South Australia, which is having a very cold winter this year. Well, cold for us, probably not cold for you guys, but anyway, cold for us. I've got all my heaters up full. It's 6:30 in the morning here, so the coldest part of the day. So that's when I start my shows. We're going to look at some reversals on O.J. Simpson tonight, or this afternoon, seeing he just got paroled. He'll be out on the October the 1st. We are analysing his speech now that he gave at his parole hearing. So hopefully he'll have some of those to present to you on the Jeff Wrench show tonight, and Jeff Wrench program when I do him from 9 to 10 this evening. But I'm going to play you some of the original O.J. Simpson reversals. This is back from 1995, was it? 94, when he had his trial. Okay, so here we have the first one. This is him being interviewed on various networks. Incidentally, just go to my website, reversespeech.com, and type up in the search box O.J. Simpson, and you'll get all the old O.J. Simpson reversals, and you can go and listen to them all. They're in the original RA format. You'll need an RA player, real player, if you don't have one. This is, of course, that's 20 years old, way back in the early days when we were using real audio files. Been using MP3 files for many years now, but a lot of the earlier examples on my website are in real audio files. You can also listen to the entire police interview. That's up there as well. The hour interview he gave to the police the night of Nicole Simpson's and Ron Goldman's murders. And that's also, just type O.J. Simpson in the search engine reversespeech.com, and that'll take you to the page. Okay, so here we have the first reversal on O.J.
I had two police officers outside of my house tell me I got screwed. So it is not everybody with LAPD.
Okay, so, and here he says, City was screwed.
City was screwed. City was screwed. City was screwed.
So he's saying forward that the police officer said that he was screwed. I'll play it again.
I had two police officers outside of my house tell me I got screwed. So it is not everybody with LAPD.
And here he says, City was screwed.
City was screwed. City was screwed. City was screwed.
So the assumption is he screwed the city. Okay, here we have a little insight into the mind of O.J. Let's run this forwards.
One, because at one point I couldn't speak. I wanted to speak on NBC. And that is the only aborted interview I've ever.
And the reversal says, damn it, you see men, I give snow. Now, this is not related to the forward dialogue, but it continues on with the interview when he's talking about Nicole. And we are flashing back to thoughts that he has had. Damn it, you see men, why are you doing this? And I give snow. It could mean Coke. I assume it means Coke. So here we go.
Damn it, you see men, I give snow. Damn it, you see men, I give snow. Damn it, you see men, I give snow.
So here is the forwards again.
One, because at one point I couldn't speak. I wanted to speak on NBC. And that is the only aborted interview I've ever. Damn it, you see men, I give snow. Damn it, you see men, I give snow. Damn it, you see men, I give snow.
Okay, all right. So next one along, he's talking about how Nicole used to confide in him.
When she had some very emotional issues with the men that she was involved with, she came to me. I don't think a woman would do that if she felt that this person was insensitive or abusive and certainly not jealous or possessive.
And here he says, damn your lust, never see lovers. And he's repeating a conversation he's had with Nicole, is what that is. It's an incongruent reversal. He's saying that he was understanding and thoughtful and helpful. But backwards we see his real thoughts, damn your lust, never see lovers.
Damn your lust, never see lovers. Damn your lust, never see lovers. Damn your lust, never see lovers.
Yeah, there we go. So here, let's play that whole section again. Here's the forwards.
When she had some very emotional issues with the men that she was involved with, she came to me. I don't think a woman would do that if she felt that this person was insensitive or abusive and certainly not jealous or possessive.
And damn your lust, never see lovers.
Damn your lust, never see lovers. Damn your lust, never see lovers. Damn your lust, never see lovers.
Yeah, so there we go. That's, alright, here we have, this one is from the police interrogation tape, the night of the murders.
And I come home.
And, and what he's doing forwards is he's telling the police, the story he wants them to believe. I come home, I casually got ready to go.
And I come home and kind of leisurely got ready to go. You know, I mean, we've done a few things before that.
And here he says backwards, I killed them high.
Well, do we hard? Well, do we hard? Well, do we hard?
So that's a straightforward confession. I killed them high. I think he was high on cocaine. So here is the forwards again.
And I come home and kind of leisurely got ready to go. You know, I mean, we've done a few things before that.
And that's what he wants us to believe. But backwards he tells us what really happened. I killed them high.
Well, do we hard? Well, do we hard? Well, do we hard?
So there we go. O.J. Simpson. Straightforward confession there. And then we have, this is a classic reversal. Here he is on BET television 2 weeks after he was acquitted in the criminal hearing.
The worst thing you can have, that you can ever have, is have your argument tape. I would say anybody out there that's married or is in a relationship, just turn a tape recorder on the next time you have an argument and play it back. You will not believe that was you.
I think that's just a classic. Just turn a tape recorder on the next time you have an argument and play it back. You will not believe that was you. Listen to this again.
Turn a tape recorder on the next time you have an argument and play it back. You will not believe that was you.
Okay, so this is what we did. We turned a tape recorder on and we played it back. And this is what we heard. He says backwards, I skinned them all.
I skinned them all. I skinned them all. I skinned them all.
Skin them's got two meanings, a double meaning reversal. Skinned, of course, is black slang for I conned them or I fooled them. So I skinned them all, I conned, I fooled everyone. Also, it refers to the violent nature of the crime. I skinned them. They were literally skinned alive. So here's the forwards again.
Just turn a tape recorder on the next time.
A really ironic reversal. Just turn a tape recorder on the next time. It's exact forwards. Here we go.
Just turn a tape recorder on the next time. I skinned them all. Just turn a tape recorder on the next time. I skinned them all.
And there you have it, forwards and backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards and backwards. Classic reversal. All right, here he is again.
After the 89 incident, I think it's pretty clear in everything that Nicole may have stated in our divorce decree, what she might have stated even during an argument we had in 1993, that O.J. has never touched me since that time.
And here he flashes back to the crime scene in his mind. He's reliving it. He says, it's them, slaughter them.
It's them, slaughter them. It's them, slaughter them. It's them, slaughter them.
So he is flashing back and remembering. It's them. That's, of course, Nicole and Ron. And it slaughtered them. And here he is again.
Well, we tried to get back together, and it just didn't work. It wasn't working. And so we were going our separate ways.
And this is from the police interrogation tape. And here he says backwards, I killed them my worst night. So there you go. There are 3 or 4 direct confessions there from O.J. Simpson. It's interesting on his parole hearing and the little snippets that I saw. He says, I've lived a life of peace or something, of no conflict or whatever it was. Never touched a weapon in my life. I was watching that in disbelief. How can the parole board buy that? Anyway, we are going to reverse. We are in the process right now, so I've just been informed of reversing the O.J. Simpson's testimony at the parole hearing, and that will be uploaded on my website as soon as we get it. And also probably play the reversals on the Jeff Wrench program I'm on tonight from 9 to 10 o'clock. So there we go. O.J. Simpson, paroled. He'll be out on October the 1st. And, the story continues. What can I say? But reverse speech is pretty revealing. There's no doubt that he is guilty of the crime. We have the 3 confessions there. And like I say, if you go to my website, just type in O.J. Simpson on the search engine. That will take you straight to the O.J. Simpson reversals, and you can go and have a listen to them all. Okay, all right. So there we go. We are going to move on to some archive reversals once again. Which we normally get to during the show. We're still going through all my old archives, and as you can see, I have got a lot of research at my disposal. So, if you want to call in and speak to me during the show, the call-in number is 844-769-2944. That's toll free in the United States. 844-769-2944. What did you think of the O.J. Simpson reversals? Let me know, okay? All right, so here's some reversals now from April 2016. And this is Bernie Sanders, attacking Bill Clinton. Okay, so here's the forwards.
Yes, his behavior was deplorable. Have I ever once said a word about that issue? No, I have not. I'm going to debate Secretary Clinton and Governor Malley on the issues facing the American people, not Bill Clinton's personal behavior.
And here he says, oh, good God.
Yes, Bush, not.
Yeah, okay, all right, fair enough. Oh, good God, yeah, well. All right, here is Bill Clinton's mistress, Sally Miller, Miss Arkansas. Oh, yeah, this will be interesting.
She had several abortions before she had Chelsea, and it was only because Bill convinced her that if they were ever going to move up in politics, that they had to have a child, because that's what the political analysts had said. They've got to see her as a human. They have to see her. I think in society they always say if you were a mother, you can't be half bad. You know, there has to be some love or gentleness or compassion within you if you birthed a child, but that's not true.
This one says, Bill Evil says it.
Yeah, whoops, that's it.
Yeah, whoops, that's it.
Oh, just Evil says it. There's no Bill there. Just Evil says it.
Yeah, whoops, that's it.
Yeah, whoops, that's it. Yeah, whoops, that's it.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, all right. And here's Bill Clinton, I think.
So where did you hear she was a lesbian? Has anyone told you that?
Bill told me.
Really?
Oh, Bill, because I said, why do you think she is so cold? Why do you think she is so uninterested in kissing and holding and just being close physically? He said that when she was in college, that she and some girls experimented and she liked it.
And this reversal says, and your warning is it.
And your warning is it.
Huh.
And your warning is it.
Wonder what that means.
And your warning is it.
That's also Bill Clinton's mistress, Sally Miller. That call-in number again, toll free, 844-769-2944. 844-769-2944. Give me a call. Let me know what you think of all of these. All right, here is Ted Cruz attacking Donald Trump.
It's not easy to tick me off. I don't get angry often. But you mess with my wife, you mess with my kids, that'll do it every time. Donald, you're a sniveling coward, and leave Heidi the hell alone.
Ooh, wow, nasty little snit. All right, backwards he says, I killed it.
Mark Gilvins?
Huh.
Mark Gilvins?
Mark Gilvins.
Okay, I guess he got a little bit upset. I killed it. Here he is attacking Trump again. This is on the campaign trail, of course, last year.
When it comes to the economy, Donald has no idea how to bring jobs back to America. At debates, that becomes exposed. So he's scared of debates. He's scared of Megyn Kelly.
And this one says, let Jeb attack.
That's it.
Huh.
That's it. That's it.
Talking about Jeb Bush, I would imagine. Okay, here he is again.
That is utter foolishness. It would hand a massive victory to Putin and to ISIS. That weakness and unilateral surrender is indicative of someone that doesn't have a basic understanding of foreign policy. That's why Donald is afraid of debates.
And this one says, let me see a bonanza.
Let me see it, Lorenzo.
Huh.
Let me see it, Lorenzo. Let me see it, Lorenzo.
Well, he might have wanted a bonanza, but he didn't get one, did he, unfortunately? Well, fortunately, depending on your political... Unfortunately for him, maybe fortunately for America. Okay, here we go.
And Donald should stick with attacking me. Because Heidi is way out of Donald Trump's league.
And this reversal says, suck it.
Suck it.
Suck it. Suck it.
Yeah, there we go. So, fair enough. All right, next one along.
It's not easy to tick me off. I don't get angry often. But you mess with my wife, you mess with my kids, that'll do it every time. Donald, you're a sniveling coward, and leave Heidi the hell alone.
And we've already played that clip forward, so this is another section from the same clip. It's they come to panic. Huh. Huh, I'll be bothered. Okay. All right. Here's Ted Cruz being booed off stage.
Let me say this. Those who hate Israel hate America.
Ooh, and here he says, say this evil.
Say this evil.
Wow.
Say this evil. Say this evil.
And let's listen to the forward again.
Let me say this. Those who hate Israel hate America.
Those who hate Israel hate America. And backwards, say this evil.
Say this evil.
Huh.
Say this evil. Say this evil.
Now that's an interesting reversal. Say this evil. Is the evil the connection between America and Israel? Is that not a good thing? The unconscious comes up with some really interesting reversals sometimes. Huh. Here he is again being booed off stage.
To say that some here, not everyone, but some here, are so consumed with hate that you cannot address your brother. I will say this. If you will not stand with Israel and the Jews, then I will not stand with you. Thank you, and God bless you.
Wow. And he says, they're not angry. Huh. Huh. I'll be bothered. All right. Okay. Cool. All right. Okay. Let's have a look. Nasty reversal. We'll be going to a break in a second. Wonder if I can get this in before the break. Let's see how we go. Here's the forwards.
Heidi is my best friend in the whole world. She is the love of my life. And Donald should stick with attacking me, because Heidi is way out of Donald Trump's league.
And he says, in your past, little bitch.
In the past, little bitch.
Huh.
In the past, little bitch.
Wow.
In the past, little bitch.
Oh, that's a bit of a nasty reversal, isn't it? Wow. Okay. Of course, Hardy did have a nervous breakdown many years ago. Maybe it's referring to that. I don't know. Interesting reversal, but certainly shows some aggression on Ted Cruz's part. All right, here we have our next reversal.
Not only did we break 50%, we blew past that, got nearly 70%, 69% of the vote.
And here he says, I'll be the best Hillary God had.
Be the best Hillary God has.
Wow.
Be the best Hillary God has.
I'll be bothered.
Be the best Hillary God has.
Huh. All right, we're going to go to our break on that note, folks. Don't touch that keyboard. We'll be back right after this.
What if we already know how to prevent and to reverse every known so-called disease? What if the government is in cahoots with the allopathic system to hide this information from you to keep you weak and enslaved to their system? What if living a higher quality of life than you ever thought possible was available to you now? Well, it's true. It's easier and more cost-effective than you think, and so life-changing that your only regret will not be having done it sooner. Because you already know what the answer is. Royal Velvet Pure. You've heard Jeff talk about it. You've heard the incredible testimonies that it has scores of benefits and it works for everyone. Now you may not know this. We have partnered with Jeff to empower you, giving you an opportunity we do not give anyone else. When you buy 2 Royal Velvet Pure, we give you another one free. Want to take that first step toward freedom and positive transformation? Go to royalvelvetnow.com. Click on the rinse icon in the upper right-hand corner or call us toll-free, 1-877-488-7423.
Would you like to change your life? Maybe access your deepest potential? Do you have blocks that hold you back? Or long-term issues you haven't been able to resolve? Then Reverse Speak Session Work is for you. With Reverse Speak Session Work, your voice is recorded and then analysed for speech reversals. These reversals will give a detailed look into the unconscious mind and pinpoint precise reasons for current behavioural problems. Then following another recording, a series of metaphoric journeys into the unconscious mind are mapped out and delivered to you. These journeys will change deep unconscious structures and hence current behaviour. Change your life today. Sign up for Reverse Speak Session Work. Go to www.reversespeak.com or call 503-568-7077. Okay, we are back once again. I'm just watching a bit of Fox News and they're showing the Goldman family of speaking out after O.J. Simpson wins parole. So we'll have to get reversals on that as well for you and have a look at them. So, so we'll get O.J. Simpson's testimony as parole hearing, and we'll get the Goldman's family's reaction to the news that O.J. Simpson is being released. And, of course, we played you the reversals in the first half hour of the show. Okay, here we have Ted Cruz again.
I have spent my entire life fighting to defend the Constitution and Bill of Rights, and when it comes to the Supreme Court, I will invest every bit of political capital to ensure that the Bill of Rights is there
but sir,
for the next generation.
And this one says, an F for this media.
An F for this media.
Huh.
An F for this media. An F for this media.
Oh dear, is that the fake media? An F for this media, the fake news. We'll run that one again.
I have spent my entire life fighting to defend the Constitution and Bill of Rights, and when it comes to the Supreme Court, I will invest every bit of political capital to ensure that the Bill of Rights is there
but sir,
for the next generation.
An F for this media.
An F for this media.
Huh.
An F for this media. An F for this media.
I'll be bothered. Huh. There you go. Interesting reversal. All right. Here we. Oh yeah, he definitely doesn't like the media. This is the fake news that he's on about.
Chris, every accusation you raised there is incorrect. I appreciate your reading the Donald Trump attack file on that.
And here it says the media rape.
The media rape.
Huh.
The media rape. The media rape.
I'll be bothered. So an F for this media. Here's an F for this media.
An F for this media.
An F for this media. An F for this media.
And then the media rape.
The media rape.
The media rape. The media rape.
Yeah, well, that's the whole fake news thing, isn't it? Okay. All right. Okay. So let's have a look at the next one along.
Now, I will say, even for Donald, though, he reached a new low. It's one thing to try to attack another candidate. It's another thing to come after my wife.
Was she hurt by it?
Donald Trump doesn't scare Heidi remotely.
And this reversal says honesty that angered.
Honesty that angered.
Huh.
Honesty that angered. Honesty that angered.
I'll be bothered. All right. Okay. Fair enough. All right. Next one along.
And if Donald wants to get in a character fight, he's better off sticking with me, because Heidi is way out of his league.
And here he says, the game only gets horror.
The game only gets horror?
Huh.
The game only gets horror. The game only gets horror.
Yeah, well, I'll be. There we go. The game only gets horror. All right. Okay. All right. So, here we have John Kerry now.
It carries with it, needless to say, an enormous responsibility for all of us, for everyone who has the privilege of making a choice about which side you are on. As I look around this room, it's very clear the choice that you all have made.
And here he says, are we dead?
Are we dead?
Huh.
Are we dead?
I see. All right, John Kerry, if that's what you think, I have no idea. Here's Melania Trump. Maybe this will give us a better reversal.
I want all of women have piece of my jewelry because it will make them feel special, it will make them feel elegant.
And here she says, leave with him.
Leave with him.
Huh.
Leave with him.
Leave with him.
Okay, leave with him. All right, okay. And here's Michelle Obama.
Believe me, as a busy single mother, or I shouldn't say single, as a busy mother, sometimes it, when you got the husband who's president, it can feel a little single, but he's there.
And here she says, crazy, help me.
Crazy help.
Crazy help.
Oh, sorry, just crazy help. Sorry.
Hurry of thee help.
Hurry of thee help. Hurry of thee help.
Okay, all right. Let me see. Here we have Wrights Priebus.
It's extraordinarily interesting, and it is rewarding. Although you're right, your lead in here. I mean, I would never check my name on Twitter.
And this one says, bring the deal.
Very nitty.
Very nitty. Very nitty.
Maybe the deal was that he would be White House Chief of Staff if he towed the line. Maybe. I don't know. Next one along.
The second thing that's happening is the selection of delegates. That means that in the Republican Party of Wisconsin, when those delegates get together, they're going to have those elections.
And this one says, in a bastard.
And a bastard.
Huh.
And a bastard. And a bastard.
Oh, was that the election that they stole from Trump? Maybe that is. Okay, all right. Here we have Priebus again.
I mean, I did 5 shows on Sunday morning. I don't think anyone saw a guy that was miserable or upset. I just take it as it comes, and I think it's going to turn out.
And here he says, the next thing is that there's mud.
The next thing is that in this mud.
Huh.
The next thing is that in this mud. The next thing is that in this mud.
Okay, well, I don't know. I guess there was a bit of mud in the campaign at one stage, wasn't there? Here's a Priebus again.
First of all, just so everyone knows, I talked to all the candidates, and I meet, in fact, Kasich's people are coming in today. I talked to Ted Cruz.
And this reversal says, we menace today.
We menace today.
We menace today. We menace today.
I don't know what it means by be menaced today, but there we have it. Okay, we got more of Priebus. Here we go. We've got a Priebus bonanza, folks.
Well, I would never say must, but certainly I'd probably state the obvious, that the closer you get to 1237, I would think that on the first or the second ballot, if you're really, really close, that it's obviously more likely, but...
And then one says, angry, you sulk.
Angry, you sulk.
I'll be bothered.
Angry, you sulk. Angry, you sulk.
What is he angry about? Shouldn't be angry about Trump getting... I don't know what he's talking about. Delegates. Yeah, I'm going to listen to the forwards again on that one. Here we go.
Well, I would never say must, but certainly I'd probably state the obvious, that the closer you get to 1237, I would think that on the first or the second ballot, if you're really, really close, that it's obviously more likely, but...
And angry, you sulk.
Angry, you sulk.
Angry, you sulk. Angry, you sulk.
Okay, well, fair enough. All right, next one.
When they have superdelegates in their back pockets and could give a darn what their grassroots is telling the party, that's not how we operate our party on our side.
This one says, but they will buy you.
Right there, buy you.
Huh.
Right there, buy you. Right there, buy you.
Ooh, I wonder who bought him. Someone's bought him. Here, let's listen to the forwards again on this one.
When they have superdelegates in their back pockets and could give a darn what their grassroots is telling the party, that's not how we operate our party on our side.
And but they will buy you.
Right there, buy you.
Right there, buy you. Right there, buy you.
There we go. Okay, so, all right, next one along. Here we go.
I don't think anyone involved condones violence. I think the temperature should be ratcheted down.
And this one says, give us the love.
If that's no love.
Huh.
If that's no love. If that's no love.
Oh, we'll give you a little bit of love, Ryan. There you go. You got the position of White House Chief of Staff, so that should make you happy. Next one along.
But I think it's certainly possible, and I think tonight's outcome is important in that regard, and you'll see the narrative.
And this one is, God damn it.
God damn it.
Ooh.
God damn it.
Nice and clear.
God damn it.
Wonder what he was upset about. Huh. Next one along.
If no candidate has 1237 going into the convention, and they take a first vote and nobody's got the majority, then they go to the second vote, and it truly is a free-for-all at that point. At that point, any one of those guys who's on the ballot, and technically another name could be submitted.
Generally, that's right. However, you have to consider that now these delegates that are going in bound to candidates, in many cases, they're going to be forming relationships with those candidates.
And this one says, have your list, make it pay. Huh. Okay, have your list, make it pay. All right. Whatever the list is that he's got, and we have another one.
And I don't think anyone involved condones violence. So no, I think it should end.
And he says, honest the love.
Honest no Alvin.
I'll be bothered.
Honest no Alvin. Honest no Alvin.
He's a complicated character, writes Priebus, isn't he? He's got a whole lot of things going on. This one's a little bit of a confession, this one here.
Join in with that nominee to win a general election against a candidate that just yesterday is now seeing that her staff is going to be deposed under oath by the FBI. So, I mean...
This one says, I pay lover.
Yeah, you pay lover.
Wow.
Yeah, you pay lover. Yeah, you pay lover.
Oh, I wonder what lover he paid. Is that a payoff? Certainly sounds like a payoff, doesn't it? Okay, here we go.
Then it's really too late. You can't turn around in mid-July and say, okay, now I'm going to mount a third-party ballot access initiative. The whole thing is ridiculous.
Oh, what a strange reversal. Islam sending money.
I'm spending money.
Huh.
I'm spending money. I'm spending money.
Wow, boy, that's a congressional investigation in and of itself. What do you mean by Islam sending money? Here's the forwards.
Then it's really too late. You can't turn around in mid-July and say, okay, now I'm going to mount a third-party ballot access initiative. The whole thing is ridiculous.
And Islam sending money.
I'm spending money.
I'm spending money. I'm spending money.
Well, I'll be bothered. Huh. Wow, I wonder what on earth that means. Okay, next one on Priebus.
The reason tonight's important isn't just on the delegate side, it's the narrative side, because there's really not a whole lot happening until New York.
Right.
So,
and here he says, now are you listening?
How are you listening?
How are you listening? How are you listening?
Yeah, there we go. Now are you listening? And next one on Priebus.
Getting on the ballot in, like say, look at Ohio, and you can Google Ohio Secretary of State ballot access.
And this is the shadow life, dead, fear it. Wow. Wow. What on earth? This is a very strange mind. Let's run the forwards again.
Getting on the ballot in, like say, look at Ohio, and you can Google Ohio Secretary of State ballot access.
Okay, the shadow life, dead, fear it. Gee whiz. What a weird reversal. The shadow life, dead, fear it. Wow. Have your list, make it pay. I pay lover. Islam sending money. What is this guy Priebus up to? Here's the next one on Priebus.
You do have people that are coming into these events seeking to make a statement, and people shouldn't react with violence.
And this one says, this shall beat in a mess again.
This shall beat in a mess again.
Huh.
This shall beat in a mess again. This shall beat in a mess again.
Well, it certainly did beat in a mess again because the violence continued. No doubt about that. So, you know, that's old news. Here we have him again.
You have an open and honest and clear process, so even if it means an open convention, so that when people come together through Cleveland, they can at least say, look, it was straight.
And this one says, upon his name, they can abuse us.
And upon his name, if an abuse us.
Huh.
And upon his name, if an abuse us.
I'll be bothered.
And upon his name, if an abuse us.
Huh. What an interesting character Reince Priebus is. Hey, listen, before I continue on with the archives, I actually found some reversals myself this week. In all the spare time I don't have. And this was on Donald Trump on his speech in Poland. So I'm going to play you those ones. There's not many because I only got a little way into the speech, but the ones I did find were quite good. So here we have the first one.
America loves Poland, and America loves the Polish people. Thank you.
And here he says, we give hope.
We give hope.
We give hope. We give hope.
Yeah, that's nice. Nice reversal, isn't it? And here we have the next one from Poland.
It is a profound honor to stand in this city by this monument to the Warsaw Uprising.
And here he says, a soul with it.
Soul with it.
Soul with it. Soul with it.
Oh, once again, another nice reversal. Okay, next one along.
President Duda and I have just come from an incredibly successful meeting with the leaders participating in the 3 C's initiative.
And this one says, British in it, cease. That's probably Brexit, I'd say.
British in it, cease.
British in it, cease. British in it, cease.
British in it, cease. Huh. Some reporter needs to get onto that and research it. Here's the forwards again.
President Duda and I have just come from an incredibly successful meeting with the leaders participating in the 3 C's initiative.
And British in it, cease.
British in it, cease.
British in it, cease. British in it, cease.
Okay, next one along.
Poland is the geographic heart of Europe, but more importantly, in the Polish people, we see the soul of Europe.
Interesting, and he just said 4 was the soul in it, didn't he? That's an interesting connection. And the reversal says, bury the loss of these.
Bury the loss of these.
Bury the loss of these. Bury the loss of these.
This is probably all the losses that Poland had. Bury them and move on would seem to be a positive reversal. And here's the last one I've got. It's the whole speech. I only got about 5 minutes into it, unfortunately, just to run out of time. So here's this one.
And American patriots fought side by side in our war of independence and in many wars that follow. Our soldiers still serve together today in Afghanistan and Iraq.
And this one says, find the edited.
Find the edited.
Find the edited. Find the edited.
There we go. Okay, all right. Oh, look, I've got to tell you something really funny. Well, funny and disturbing, both at once. For those of you who've been following reverse speech for a while, you realise that every now and then these copycat merchants pop up, calling themselves by various different names. Anyway, the latest one is a crowd called Ultrasonic Reverse Speech Analysis. So, which I am going to get a move on with my lawyers because that's a blatant breach of trademark. But anyway, the reversals are lousy. You can't hear them. And and on his website, he explains why people can't hear his reversals. Well, for a start, he listens with his third ear. Okay, his hearing is superior than everyone else's. And those who don't hear it, get this, it's because God has blocked them from hearing it. Okay? That's the best excuse I've ever heard from anyone to justify non-existent reversals. You're not hearing them because God has blocked you from hearing it. And he listens with his third ear. And so there we go. Just Google what do they call it? What did I say it was? Ultrasonic reverse speech analysis. There we go. That's the latest one to pop up. There's been a few of them over the years. I'll have to contact my lawyer over this one. All right. Okay. So let's have a look at where are we? We are still looking at archives, and I've lost where I'm at now. Oh yeah, here we go. We're back into April of 2000 and oops, what did I just do then? April of 2016. See, this happens when I go off track. I lose where I was. So, alright. Islam sending money. It's a shadow. Okay, we've done all of, Oh, hang on. There's more here. What? Oh, okay, alright, there's more here. Islam sending money. I thought I'd done all the Priebuses. Okay, no, we've got more. Okay, alright, I see, I'm on the wrong file, wrong subdirectory. Okay, alright, so now we've done all of Priebus. Okay, so here we have someone Rumsfeld.
Said he didn't even know what World Trade Center Building 7 was. So...
Good to see you.
Can I get one too?
Sure. I'd rather have my picture with that good-looking lady than...
Yeah. But I was wondering, have you heard of Building 7? Because there was like a radio show where you said that you never heard of Building 7.
No, I haven't. What's Building 7?
The third skyscraper that fell on 9/11.
Oh my gosh, sure. Now I remember.
Did you do some research into that?
No, I was busy with the Pentagon getting hit.
Of course. Yeah, but there's a lot of controversy.
This one is I knew shit. Huh. Well, I guess he didn't know anything at all. That's what the reversal would imply. And here we have next one along.
Said he didn't even know what World Trade Center Building 7 was. So...
Good to see you.
Can I get one too?
Sure. I'd rather have my picture with that good-looking lady than...
Yeah. But I was wondering, have you heard of Building 7? Because there was like a radio show where you said that you never heard of Building 7.
No, I haven't. What's Building 7?
The third skyscraper that fell on 9/11.
Oh my gosh, sure. Now I remember.
Did you do some research into that?
No, I was busy with the Pentagon getting hit.
Of course. Yeah, but there's a lot of controversy.
And here he says, now I know.
Now I know.
Oh, yeah.
Now I know.
Yeah, that's just a straightforward, congruent reversal. So, yeah, okay. All right, here we have one on Trump.
There's a whole lot of talk about that, and that's a bad thing, not a good thing. The last person to use nuclear would be Donald Trump.
Oh, interesting. Get the gun, you're sad.
Get the gun, you're sad.
Wow.
Get the gun, you're sad.
Wow, now that's actually a direct contradiction. He would use nukes. Gee, I'm going to save this in my main file.
There's a whole lot of talk about that, and that's a bad thing, not a good thing. the last person to use nuclear would be Donald Trump. Yes, I'm going to say it.
Wow.
Yes, I'm going to say it.
Yes, I'm going to say it.
So he would use nukes. Wow. All right. We're at the end of the first hour, folks. We'll be back in the second hour with my guest, Brian Jones. Speak to you soon. Would you like to change your life? Maybe access your deepest potential? Do you have blocks that hold you back, or long-term issues you haven't been able to resolve? Then Reverse Speech Session Work is for you. With Reverse Speech Session Work, your voice is recorded and then analysed for speech reversals. These reversals will give a detailed look into the unconscious mind and pinpoint precise reasons for current behavioural problems. Then following another recording, a series of metaphoric journeys into the unconscious mind are mapped out and delivered to you. These journeys will change deep unconscious structures and hence current behaviour. Change your life today. Sign up for Reverse Speech Session Work. Go to www.reversespeech.com or call 503-568-7077.
Known worldwide as the most consistently fascinating, informative, and unique program on radio, the Jeff Rense program can be yours to listen to anytime, anywhere, whenever you want to hear it. For pennies a day, our subscribers can download any of Jeff's thousands of programs featuring a treasury of newsmakers, researchers, eyewitnesses, and incredible subjects, all in MP3 commercial-free, crystal-clear 56-bit digital sound, and take these often unforgettable programs with them wherever they go. As a subscriber, you can also listen live at airtime, online, anywhere in the world, or browse through our archives of over 6,000 hours of legendary broadcasts. Subscribe now by taking the link at the top of Rense.com and enrich your mind with the most unique panorama of vital information and the best independent, honest journalism in radio. Look for the Subscribe Now link on Rense.com and give yourself the knowledge you need for these unprecedented times. You're listening to the Rense Radio Network, nationwide and worldwide on the net and at Rense.com.
Okay, we are back for hour 2 of the weekly Reverse Speech Show. I hope you're all enjoying the program so far. Reversals on Oates Simpson in the first hour, so there you go. And in the second hour, we're introducing our regular friend on the show. This is probably his third or maybe fourth appearance. I lose track. Brian Jones. Brian, welcome to the show.
Hey, David. I think I'm here, at least at this end. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you just fine. Absolutely. You sound really, really good, actually. So, yeah.
Good. Well, I've been kind of tweaking some dials over here, and I've got one of my vintage microphones going. Nothing fancy, but that's good to know. Yeah. Hey, I just heard what you said about, of course, getting reversals on OJ. I stayed up till about 2:30 this morning at the last minute watching his hearing. Uh-huh. And I just found one reversal on him I think you'll appreciate. But I'm just wondering if possibly somebody found the same one, but we'll find out. I haven't followed that guy meticulously, but you can go and learn a lot from other people's comments on YouTube, which is where I get a lot of audio, and a lot of people seem to be pretty tuned into him long term. And I don't know. Can I ask you what your overall impression is of? I kind of know from what you.
Well, reversals are very plain. He's as guilty as hell.
Well, I won't call you. Yeah.
Huh?
Oh, never mind. I was going to make a joke, but I'll stifle myself. But yeah, no, I forgot how time consuming all this stuff was. But hey, you know what I did was I cracked open. I wanted to do this for a while. Actually, remember I wrote you and I had a friend's phone message, which I found pretty dang intriguing. He had a lot on his mind. He was getting ready to go fishing for 3 months, and he left me a message, and the energy was just wild as hell. I couldn't find that one, but another thing I was going to do is, I suppose you remember the segment on Strange Universe after the house fire you had, right?
Oh, sure, yeah. I got to get a copy of that, by the way. That's on my list to do. Yes, go ahead.
Well, I thought I had a copy of the complete show, the audio. Turns out I didn't, and I think I might have recorded this before I ever even had my own computer, and so I did get a little bit of audio from the tail end of it. I can play something here. It's really bad.
Oh.
Really bad. But hey, here's the thing. I think I found I don't know if you remember how it laid out, but in the very end of the show, which I believe your segment was pretty short, maybe 10 minutes, wasn't it? Something like that?
Oh, gee, I can't remember, Brian. That was 20 years ago. Wow.
Yeah, 20 compressed years ago, no doubt. But but the thing is, so the sound quality is terrible. I was holding the microphone up to my mom's TV, and I was telling her about it. I said, hey, I recorded that thing, and she's looking at me like, really? I said, yeah, I did. And then here's my memory too. So as I found this tape, it's on low, normal bias, not even high bias magnetic tape from, just a really low quality. And then I listened to it, what I have of it last night, and I hear her commenting on it. So she was there too. So I guess both of us, between the two of us, had a quarter of a memory about it. But hey, listen, let me play it. Like I said, it's really bad quality. I boosted it up, but basically I'll just, give you what you're saying is you're making a plea to people. It's like, hey, I've made this great discovery, and I can't keep doing it alone. And it's threatening. I've lost this house, that house. And then at the very end, you kind of have this gasp of exasperation. Anyway, let me just play that. It's not great quality, but let's just play it. You'll have it on the archive. Here goes.
Okay.
Discovered the most incredible discovery in centuries. People have got to get it. I can't do this anymore. I've been doing this for 40 years, going from town to town. I've lost this house and that house. This is the latest one. We need people to come and help us with their speak is going to save our planet. Don't let it do it from itself. Don't let this technology die. That's it. I'm done. We'll be keeping a close eye on David Oates.
David, did you hear that? Some of it?
I remember that. I remember saying that. I remember that. Yeah.
Well, the way I've been telling people for years, maybe I emphasized it a little bit for memory, and I can't remember the guy's name, had a real short haircut. Buddy of mine said that the host of that program was some NFL football player, retired or whatever. But I always thought it was pretty creepy the way he said, at the end, he says, we'll be keeping a close eye on David Oates, right? That's the way I remember it. And look, let me just play that over because I clipped that out and his voice came through clearer than yours. But, see, here goes. Let me play this for you. It's at normal speed. I'm going to play it 3 times. Here goes. And here's what I want to say, just because I want to speed through this a little bit. I've got a few sound files, of course, but it almost sounds like he's saying, I always heard it say, we'll be keeping a close eye, but it also, how these things can be layered, and, we can hear but I wonder if it's, we'll be keeping a close eye or they'll be keeping a close eye. But anyway, here it is 3 times.
We'll be keeping a close eye on David Oates. We'll be keeping a close eye on David Oates. We'll be keeping a close eye on David Oates.
Will be.
Yeah, that's the way I always thought it was, but I kind of heard another layer of they, but you know how that goes. And anyway, it's just funny because when I listened to the tape last night and realized that I didn't know where I recorded it, and I still don't remember, but obviously at the time my mother was there and I probably was visiting her and watching it on whatever night the show was on, because you'd said I probably heard from you that we're going to be doing the segment in such and such a date. Anyway, her comment right after that right there was, he's weird, isn't he? She's talking about the host of the show. But listen, I just, going back, even though it's not the greatest sound quality, I think I found 2 reversals, and this one comes out of right literally, and you can break this down later, of course, is that of this house or that house. The thing about the house fire and maybe some other ones that I'm not sure I ever heard about, but right out of that, or this house, that house, I hear, I have assassin. Here goes. It's pretty clear. And then of course I always harp on this about the I statement, right? I mean, it's everywhere. It comes out of animals I've recorded, the so-called audio psychic, whatever. It's an expression. Maybe it's not textbook language, but it comes through, and maybe I'll say a little bit about that. But the I statement is prevalent not only in the reverse speech, but I found it all over with animals that I'm able to record and have their thoughts morph into English phrases, and then the work I've done with so-called ITC, experimenting with I don't know if it's spirit communication, tapping into the universal mind, or the jukebox in the sky, or whatever you want to label it as. It doesn't matter to me, because the whole thing about it has always been for me is to get the message, relay it, and of course, as you know, so many times it's so on target. I guess it's it's useful if you let it be. But there's another one here out of just your short segment there, and this was out of the exasperated sound you made, like a sigh at the very end. And the way I hear this one is hits later. Here goes.
Wow. Oh, yeah.
Now, I don't know if you have an impression of that. Now, if you're talking about, you're talking about all the pressure you're under, being attacked for this sort of thing because it's so threatening, or maybe, hits later, like did you know that more was coming? Did you know that this was going to hit you later?
Well, this is all very interesting. This is all detailed in my autobiography, which I've just been notified will be ready out of the editors in about a week. So it should be out in a month. It's only a metaphor. And I detail all the assassination attempts in the book. These reversals are absolutely spot on as to what's happened to me, and it's my frustration. A frustration I still have to this day, if the truth be known.
Hey, look, I just want you to know that that is a contagious thing, because when I told you how I got into this thing was I had never listened to Art Bell 3.5, 4 hours before my mom ever felt compelled to say, hey, Art had a guest on. You're going to want to know about this. Remember I told you about being on the phone and getting like zapped and hearing my own voice echoing back through the earpiece with a delay just shocked the hell out of me. And I was telling the guy, my voice is echoing back at me backwards. And then 4 hours later. So I don't know what it all means. That's why I'm trying to get information outside of the so-called mainstream thinking processes, but anyway, what I was going to say is, no kidding. I know you've been at the forefront in huge ways, and I will have to get that book and read about it to learn more. But the thing is, I'm pretty stubborn, and I knocked on tens of thousands of doors, and I'm not very patient with people, I gotta admit. But if I had to pick one word to say what it is, frustration, you can count on that. And then I was going to say the way that I described what I was met with was the double-handed loveliness of not only denial but denial, or excuse me, not only rejection, but rejection with denial of rejection. So I've been pretty frustrated, but I'm backing away from it. I'm not really beating my head against the wall anymore. I like my walls too much. But hey, listen, the thing is, like I said, that was just going back in time. And you know what? I listened to a bunch of my very first stuff I did in the first few months, and the way I wrote them down. And even though they're on low quality, everything, I mean, some of my impressions, when I listen to them today, I'm like, man, I was right on target with the way I was hearing it then. Because, a lot of times you think you're hearing something, or at least me, I go back later and I hear it a different way. And it seems like later it's settled in, and the later impression seems to stick. But, you know how time flies. I want to say this. I have a few things to say, but, I wanted to go, I heard that, President Trump did an interview with New York Times, and I just haven't made time to do much about it, but I have 2 reversals on him, and I'd like to play those. And just to say, my main agenda here is to just to kind of entertain people and show them that what you're talking about, and I'm sure most people that are following along with you know this is true, that this reverse speech thing is very real. And, it depends on how you approach it and how you use it. It's like anything else, I mean, there are some really high-end carpenter tools out there. Some people, the best thing they could do is damage wood with it. Other people can do, master work with it. So it takes skill, of course. And I'm not, so anyway, here's what I wanted to say on the Trump thing. This is about something you may have heard about, this whole Russia thing. Have you heard anything about that? Okay, so.
It's all
a little,
ad nauseum.
Yeah, just a little bit. So I only have a couple reversals on the president here, and let's see. He's basically addressing this one right here, where it's he's just addressing the fact that now it's about his son-in-law, meeting the attorney or whatever, the Russian attorney, and here's what he says about that. Here goes.
I didn't look at it very closely, to be honest with you. I just heard there was an email requesting a meeting or something, requesting a meeting, that they have information on Hillary Clinton. And I said, that's standard political stuff.
Basically he's just saying that this is standard political stuff. It's not a big deal. And, there is a little truth to the whole, there's a little truth to the whole idea of fake news. And anyway, but what I hear of this right there is lying on to shame us. We hate it. Here goes. I didn't slow it way down. It goes pretty quick. But
that's actually quite clear. It's a shame the audio wasn't better, but no, that's quite clear. Yeah.
Well, I'm holding the mic up to one of my speakers, but I made a little acoustic chamber. But that one seemed to go pretty quick. But I know earlier, I do believe that is a total expression. And he's probably getting a little bit tired of this whole, what it's all about. They're just trying to pull him down so he can't get some things done. But here's another one along those lines also. I believe both of these are from that New York Times interview. I don't know. I had to rush this overnight, and here it goes. Here's another thing addressing the same topic right here.
Okay.
I didn't look at it very closely, to be honest with you. I just heard there was an email requesting a meeting or something. Yeah, requesting a meeting. That they have information on Hillary Clinton. And I said, that's standard political stuff. Did you know at the time that they had the meeting? No, I didn't know anything about the meeting. But it must have been a very unimportant meeting, because I never even heard of that.
Anyway, David, he's basically saying it must have been a very unimportant meeting because I didn't even hear about it. And it's just, you take, what I hear of this one from him, reversal is there's a possible another I statement, of course, they're everywhere, but I'm giving up the game. Here goes.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's it.
I could have slowed him down more. I mean, when I get amped up, I told you, sometimes I don't notice that they're going fast because I had like 4 cups of coffee while I was doing this stuff this morning. So by comparison, it sounded slow earlier, but now I'm starting to crash from the caffeine going away. But okay, so here's another thing. I want to shift gears because I think you'll find this a little bit amusing here. A year or so ago, during one of these experiments, I've had to back away from it. I've been taking care of some more earthly business here, and that's a whole other story. But I'm getting pretty close. I'll just say I've got a really neat shop out back, and I'm getting ready to start building some practical inventions that I don't think people are going to be afraid of, and I might actually get paid for these. But let's see. Yeah, I've got some things going on that.
I want to hear more about that when you're ready.
Yeah. Maybe I'd like to put a word out there on that level too. But let's see here. Oh yeah, here's one right here. So what this audio is, and I hope it'll come through clear enough, is through one of these experiments where I literally, I've experimented a lot where I get these messages from who knows who they are. But the point about this one is I comment and I say, I think I heard a Trump and a Hillary there. This is right after, President Trump became our president here. And here's the forward part of it right here.
Test 2. I might have heard a Trump and then a Hillary right there. Okay, test 3.
Okay, so I'm just, this kind of goes along with talking about the president here, but this came out of my guitar amp, and what I hear of this one is Trump's laughing at Hillary. Here goes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Hey, look, I'm not. I don't think that's ventriloquism skills. I mean, I have to do this every day, and I can build up a pretty strong signal. I've gotten messages. Oh yeah, and what I was going to say is I'm not focused, and I think part of the problem is with people is, and I haven't quite figured out what my approach ought to be, but as far as like becoming polished to where I can say, hey, I'm your psychic advisor here, and say, even if set a fee and charge it as a service, it just never got there because that's just not what I'm here to do. But I've put things out on bulletin boards, and I've experimented, and I had one young lady that was really direct, and I told her, I said, look, I can bring through messages, and I do believe I can get, very specific information for you from a personal level if you're ready to hear it, because you have to be there as part of the circuit, the open channel. And so I use what I call a carrier track, just jumbled up sounds, foreign languages, backwards, forwards, mixed, and then I can use techniques, and they morph into, like, right there, you hear these phrases that are constantly new. So I had this idea that, hey, the carrier track I'm going to use for this person to help her get some messages, I had her just record 3 very short phrases in her own voice, her own personal signature energy, and she was on target. I was really impressed with her, and she said something along the lines of, I'm very open and ready to hear information from my spirit guides, and then 2 other ones. So I chopped them all up, mixed them up, used it for what I said a carrier track was. So I record it, I listen to it, dual direction, backwards, forwards, and I wrote down a whole bunch of messages I got hot off the press of the guitar amp, and I sent them to her in email, and I came back like the next day and did it again, got another batch of messages from that very same recording, and she told me more than once, she says it blew my mind how on target that information was. So I'm just really reaching out and doing some expansive experimentation. But hey, because I know time flies really quick, and do you go to a break here in a minute, or do you do a break at a
we got a break in about a minute or so.
Okay. Yeah, let me find something. I just want to play something from way back when, just quickies to show the buy and sell thing, how important all that is, and how prevalent that is about it, the way reverse speech describes or expresses the buy and sell of energy. And
okay, yeah, sure. It's the whole theme of reverse speech. I need to write about that in my next.
Hey, I was gonna say, do I hear music coming up, or is that in my head?
I don't hear music yet. No, keep on going. It's not there yet.
Okay, yeah, well, this is Bill Clinton from back when he was president, and he launched some military action to get certain things off the headlines, and here's what he was saying about it. Here goes. He was pretty smooth talker. Here he is.
Oh, yes, I know.
Last month in our action over Iraq, our troops were superb. Their mission was so flawlessly executed that we risked taking for granted the bravery and the skill it required.
God, I miss that guy. Anyway, just kidding. So anyway, what I hear of this one, because by the way, it was really he got a lot of heat for that because a lot of people knew that was a big diversion. And what I hear of this one is it don't sell. Should I save it, David?
Yeah. Wait to hold that thought. We'll play that reversal. It don't sell when we get back from the break, folks.
What if we already know how to prevent and to reverse every known so-called disease? What if the government is in cahoots with the allopathic system to hide this information from you to keep you weak and enslaved to their system? What if living a higher quality of life than you ever thought possible was available to you now? Well, it's true. It's easier and more cost-effective than you think, and so life-changing that your only regret will not be having done it sooner. Because you already know what the answer is. Royal Velvet Pure. You've heard Jeff talk about it. You've heard the incredible testimonies that it has scores of benefits and it works for everyone. Now you may not know this. We have partnered with Jeff to empower you, giving you an opportunity we do not give anyone else. When you buy 2 Royal Velvet Pure, we give you another one free. Want to take that first step toward freedom and positive transformation? Go to royalvelvetnow.com. Click on the rinse icon in the upper right-hand corner or call us toll-free, 1-877-488-7423.
Would you like to change your life? Maybe access your deepest potential? Do you have blocks that hold you back? Or long-term issues you haven't been able to resolve? Then Reverse Speak Session Work is for you. With Reverse Speak Session Work, your voice is recorded and then analysed for speech reversals. These reversals will give a detailed look into the unconscious mind and pinpoint precise reasons for current behavioural problems. Then following another recording, a series of metaphoric journeys into the unconscious mind are mapped out and delivered to you. These journeys will change deep unconscious structures and hence current behaviour. Change your life today. Sign up for Reverse Speak Session Work. Go to www.reversespeak.com or call 503-568-7077. Okay, we are back for the final segment of the weekly Reverse Speech Show. My guest is Brian Jones, who is bringing us some fascinating sound clips, as he always does. So, Brian, why don't you play that Clinton clip forwards again?
Okay, you got it. Let me highlight the whole thing here. Okay, here we go.
Last month in our action over Iraq, our troops were superb. Their mission was so flawlessly executed that we risked taking for granted the bravery and the skill it required.
Yeah, there was some skill required there because I think he sounded pretty upbeat and confident there. But like I said, I remember that one. He was getting a lot of heat about the timing of that with all the hot water he was in. And What I hear of this one is it don't sell. Here goes.
Oh, yeah.
don't tell. Don't tell. Don't tell.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty clear. But
yeah,
here's one. Yeah.
I got some verses on Clinton about in that same time frame that says he was using Iraq as a distraction from the sex scandal. So yeah. So anyway, just letting you know. Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know I'm going to keep my comments. I mean, not just about him, but just about what passes for government. You know. Well, hey, I got a couple things just to lighten it up. Number one, Hillary said that she's been a public servant for X amount of years. I need a laugh track for that. And speaking of laugh tracks, you know, Maxine Waters is kind of a nutcase. I mean, it makes you really wonder if what you're seeing is real in the comments that she makes publicly and things. But I figured it out. If all you did was add a laugh track to her commentary, she'd be a hit, man. I mean, she could take her show on the road. She would be a killer stand-up comic, you know. I mean, really, have you ever thought about that?
No, but you're right.
No, I mean, sometimes there's just one missing catalyst, and if she did that, she might actually find a new career. It wouldn't pay as much probably, but anyway, so I just want to, on that theme of the buy and sell thing, I think this one's super clear. And I remember when I found it, and I told you I was just during a week when I really wanted to kind of check out what children's shows, what might be kind of in there. This I just believe is the internal workings of the inner mind of this voice actor that on that show Rugrats, and I just think this is pretty astounding because she's projecting anger and really good at it too, by the way, I think. And it's, without going into what it's about, she's just projecting anger. Shall we leave it at that? And here goes.
Now all you gotta do is drop the necklace right into the garbage, and your mean old mom will never see it again. But Angelica, but what? She took your lion. Why shouldn't you take her necklace? Do it!
I mean, there's a lot of energy in that, and
there is.
Okay, so what I hear of this one is like the inner mind, like coaching her to get in that state where she can really project so much energy like that. But what I hear of this one is sell anger, you know, buy and sell, you know, make it convincing, get people to accept it. Sell anger, just doing the show. Here goes. I mean, I don't know how that comes across, but to me that's just, but then again, I hear things that I'm sure are super clear on different categories I mentioned earlier, and people say they can't hear them even after I tell them what I hear. So who knows?
That one's right.
Yeah, I think so too. And the thing about it is there are times when I get information that even when it's so, I don't know what it is. It's a little perplexing to me because to me they sound as physically present phonetically as just regular audio sounds. And sometimes I'm using my finger waving the syllable count and everything, and people say they can't hear them. But yet a lot of those times those bits of information are validated as being accurate by circumstances that I didn't know at the time of hearing them. We checked it later and found out. So that's another side of it. But let me, before we run out of time, let me just get a couple things on. Did you happen to watch any of the parole hearing yesterday? I guess it happened yesterday, didn't it?
Yeah, no, I haven't had time to watch it, but I've got someone who has just found some reversals on it. I haven't listened to him yet. Why, you got some? You got some?
I only got one on OJ, and I think it's really clear. And it's got one of your favorite metaphors in it. We'll say, let me just go. There was a man by the name of Bruce Fomong, I think it is, and this is the guy that had the gun pulled on him, and I guess he got hit. I never followed this stuff. I'm not into the tabloid stuff very much, but since it was I started recording it, watching the hearings on YouTube, and that's why I ended up staying up till 2:30 again. And believe me, that's going to bed early because it was 4 the morning before. And I get up early anyway, every day, just about, so pretty much every day. Now let's see here. There's the man, Bruce, he really went in there, to really praise OJ. And OJ said during that hearing that this man Bruce, they were friends on and off. They'd kind of drifted apart, and he kind of, this was the whole part of what was said, that this man Bruce, he could understand why he was there trying to sell OJ's personal property, because he was on hard times financially. Maybe he still is, and I'll get to that in a sec, right? But I'm not sure if this is going to come through. I think it's there, and I may be wrong, but this was at the very tail end of this man's testimony there in front of the parole board, and he's just basically saying OJ's a great guy, and he's looking at him saying, if you called me to come pick you up from prison, I'd be here for you, and I mean that, bro. And here's what he says about that right here.
Okay. And if he called me tomorrow and said, Bruce, I'm getting out, will you pick me up? Juice, I'll be here tomorrow. I mean that, buddy.
Actually, I think he said, I mean that, buddy. And he goes, Juice, I'd be there for you. The nickname for OJ. Now, look, the N-word spelled out,
Sure.
and it's a metaphor that you documented a long time ago. And that thing has come up. That's come up many times, and it doesn't have anything to do with any certain race. But it does, but I don't think we could take it as a compliment. And of course, there are people that use it as a loving term, I guess. It just depends. But in this case, I think this is indicating this ain't as warm and fuzzy. That's the way I hear it, is walk thy nigger on this one. Here goes.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? I found that a little while ago. Right now, I've got my headphones on listening to you. I'm not sure that's as clear as it was to me earlier, but I heard it clearly earlier. It may be one level of it, but that may not be the strongest one, but I think it was certainly there for me earlier. But the same man right here. Now this is also, here he is, and he was only on one time in that hearing. Here he's basically saying how OJ's a good guy, and he's not worried about anybody's safety if OJ gets out. Here's what he said about that.
I'm here to say that I've known OJ for a long time. I don't feel that he's a threat to anyone out there. He's a good man.
Well, was that clear enough, David?
Yeah, that was clear. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, now, here, this is why I was bringing up the buy and sell. Sometimes we're telling ourselves to buy something, trying to get ourselves to believe something. And I know that you documented the word need as significant as a maybe a metaphor in your dictionary way back when. Yeah. So, but because, and I don't know, listen, I don't know, I'm not going to follow through with this. I'm just, from very little background information on this stuff, I'm just giving my initial impressions. If somebody wants to take this and apply it to if they're following this whole case, but the whole idea that OJ had said that back in the day of trying to sell off this stuff, he knew that Bruce was having hard times financially, and maybe that's a pattern with him. That it certainly can be. But what I hear of this one is, buy now, we need it. Here goes.
Okay. Why don't we need? Why don't we need? Why don't we need?
Can't hear the it on the end.
It's there. I know I could have slowed that one down more too, but if somebody wants to slow it down, you got the archive here. But listen, I'll just jump ahead. We got a few minutes here. I want to go back in time, and some people seem to think I read some of the comments, and overall, like I said, I don't follow this stuff too much, but I read a lot of the comments on the YouTube video after he won his parole, and there were a lot of people, not very many people standing up for OJ, and a lot of people think that guy is a monster, that Ron Goldman's parent, his father and sister were talking about. And I have that audio. I didn't even get a chance to crack into it. But what I hear sorry, I'm not even there yet. A little bit out of time sequence here, but okay, so but OJ, from that interrogation, so-called, that I got off your website, and it's pretty muffled, as you know, but right now the question about this is a time frame that this detective is interrogating OJ, wanting to know about this time frame. OJ's saying it's weeks. Listen to this right here. Here goes.
I mean, I get into a funny place here on this, all right? Yeah. So you turned it, I mean, 3 weeks ago or so, because when I said I'm in a funny place on this, it's because I gave it to my girlfriend and told her it was for her. And that was 3 weeks ago. So I bought it for her.
Well, I know it's really muffled, but take my word for it, and you can listen to it again, is that he says that was weeks ago. He said that twice. But I think, and you know how a lot of times when you play things backwards, even muffled things, they get a little sharper.
Oh, yeah,
and listen to the tone in his voice. Some people think that arrogance is one of his character traits. And I mean, a lot of people that know him say that. What I hear of this one, after just saying that it was a matter of weeks, what I hear of this one is 12 hours. I guess you missed, son, or missed that, son. That's what it is. 12 hours. I guess you missed that, son. Here goes.
Okay.
Okay, there was no that in there, but
I heard that. I heard that.
Yeah, well, I mean, think about it. Is that condescending? You know, I mean, he must be projecting that to the interrogator. I guess you missed that. I mean, if you're on the hot seat, especially if you really did murder a couple people, you know what I mean? That is pretty arrogant. And now, I guess I think I have the exact forward here. I just hit the pause button. Let me see what the exact forward is. Sometimes that makes a difference. Here goes.
And that was 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's exactly what form is. And that was whatever he says. I can't get that syllable, 2 or 3 weeks ago. That's what produced that right there. And 12 hours, I guess you missed that. So now was this, in other words, there's a whole discrepancy saying weeks, but then it's for some reason, and I think it's clear as anything, bringing up the period of 12 hours. And then I guess, anyway, I'll leave that one alone, but from this point, but then, and of course there was the other one, that you thought was pretty impressive. Now, like I said, they're pretty muffled. This is from the same thing. There's a double one here. And I don't know if you remember or not, but let me just play the forward again. It's not, sure. It's about 22 seconds, but then there are 2 reversals in here. Here goes.
We found some in your house. Is that your blood? It's drip there? If it's drip, it's what I dripped running around trying to leave. Yeah, I wasn't aware that it was, I was aware that I was trying to get out of the house. I didn't pay any attention to it. I saw it when I was in the kitchen, and I grabbed a napkin or something, and that was it. I didn't think about it after that.
Well, listen, this illustrates just, I don't know if you heard the point in his voice where he says, his tone completely changed. And that's what produced the reversal. But think about, this detective is asking him about the blood in the house. And if I remember right, he said he cut his hand on a broken glass as he was rushing out the door to hit the airport or wherever he was going. And so here they're talking about blood, and he's saying that it was his own blood, which it must have been. I'm sure they tested that much. I didn't follow the case, but the first one I hear is bloody hate. Here it is.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I know you posted this on your thing, but remember the description of the lacerations on their throats. And What I hear, and especially Nicole, what I hear of the second one here is she's beheaded. Here it is.
Oh, yeah.
And then one last from the OJ warm and fuzzy vault here. And this was a really strange thing. This is from the same so-called interrogation, and the detective the point here is about some jewelry. Did you give her this? The detective says, did you give her? He says give twice. OJ says gave twice. Listen to this.
Did you get together with her on her birthday? I gave her a gift. What did you give her? I gave her either the bracelet or the earrings.
Well, yeah, here, let's break it down to what the detective said, right? what did you give her, right? I don't know if you heard that part. Well, listen to this now, and remember. Okay, here it is. Giving her maggots. Here goes. Is that clear enough?
Yeah, well, yeah, I can hear it clearly. Yeah, it's certainly there. It's just a shame the audio is not the best. So.
Well, this is from, you know how muffled that thing was, you know?
Oh, shocking audio. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
But here's the thing. I mean, I think that one is, to me, it's just plain as anything. And the whole point is, the whole topic was, what did he give her? Well, you know, the whole idea of giving her maggots kind of implies something less than a real friendly gesture, and you can fill in the blanks on that. But the point about this one, David, is that came out of his voice forward. You remember that?
Wow. Wow.
Tell me that wasn't a lot of energy that needed to get out.
Wow.
That was, if you listen to that whole track, the instant he spoke, that bursted out of it. Now, just so we don't run out of time here, and like I said, I think this is from the parole hearing yesterday or whenever it was. I think it was yesterday. Time is an illusion, I think, but hang on. I guess I'm getting worked up because I just X'd out the dang Gold Wave program, but I'll get it. I know where it's at here. So, okay, so back to this thing here. This is the only reversal I got, and I got this like 40 minutes before you called me, but I think it's really clear, and I think you're gonna you'll be able to interpret it better than I would, even if I took the time to do so. So hang on just a sec here. OJ's parole hearing. Here we go. Okay. And let's see here. This is better audio. That last stuff was really muffled. And by the way, when I got that interrogation off your website, I went back the next day and it was never there again. Did you know what happened to that? I mean, you posted that, right?
Well, it's up there. I was on there this morning.
Oh, you mean the interrogation from years ago?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Well, I guess I don't know.
Yeah,
I couldn't find.
Yeah,
that was
this morning pulling off Hojo reversals, and I saw it there, and I listened to some of it, so it's there.
Okay. Well, I'm not going back for more, but it seemed like that was years ago when I got that, and I went back to the next day, and it wasn't in the same place. Maybe you moved it, or maybe you changed your website. That was many years ago when I actually got that, But this right here is from yesterday's parole hearing, and hopefully it's clear enough that you can hear the topic. I think he's basically saying that he's taken full responsibility for what went down in Nevada that night that he's in prison for right now. Here goes.
If I would have made a better judgment back then, none of this would have happened. And I take full responsibility because I should have never. You know, I haven't made any excuses in 9 years yet.
Did you hear that? Okay.
Oh yeah, he's so full of it.
Well, hey, maybe you can see what you think of this, because I believe this one's pretty darn clearly enunciated. It's a reversal, and it's talking about the wolf thing. So see what you think of this. What I hear of this one is a villain stops the wolf. Here goes.
The villain stops the wolf. The villain stops the wolf. The villain stops the wolf.
Yeah, it is clear.
What would that mean?
Villain stops the wolf. A villain stops. Well, it's certainly fight. It's certainly confrontation. He's probably referring to himself as the villain, stopping the wolf. What's the falls again? Just play the falls again.
Okay, here you go.
If I would have made a better judgment back then, none of this would have happened. And I take full responsibility because I should have never. You know, I haven't made any excuses in 9 years yet.
Well, you know, basically, he's talking about what happened in the hotel room, and that he said that if you would have used better judgment, that none of this would have ever happened. And let me just find out what the exact forward words are. Full responsibility. Oh yeah, the thing about
a villain.
A villain stops the wolf, and the exact forward words are full responsibility. But anyway, I don't know if you do watch that parole hearing yesterday.
Well, I'm going to do reversals on it myself. I'm curious. Yeah.
Well, there's one thing that you don't even need to listen to, and other people commented on it. Like I said, I just crammed this in way late last night, and I just felt like, and I didn't. If I would have spent more time, I could have had a bunch more reversals. I'm not going to pursue it. I've got other things I need to take care of. But what I was going to say is, when one of the parole board, one of the men there was asking him about the property rights. The second time he addressed the fact that there was some judgment in California that said that it was legally his, he got mad. And I mean, you could see his face change and his voice. I listened to that real briefly. I didn't get a reversal that jumped out, but it's just, you don't need to listen backwards. You just look at his facial expression and the tone of his voice. He's got a real temper. I mean, he really, and I don't, and listen, I don't know much about it, but he's a football player. I don't know what he was like before he got into that, but those guys get their heads slammed hard and they can get rewired. I mean, military vets have come back, maybe with concussion injuries, killed their family members. It could be beyond his control from a trauma he suffered. It's just a sad deal all the way, but I don't know. It's a complicated world. But what I was going to say is if anybody's, I'll put this out here now, and maybe, if anybody wants to talk to me about anything I'm doing and discuss it, I'm open to it. And they could find me through that website, audiomedium.com, which I haven't really done much with, but I've got an email link there. And as far as what I'm doing, I'm getting ready to build some practical inventions that don't need to challenge anybody's comfort zone, for more or less like safety equipment, things like that. I got a lot of creative ideas, so that's what I'm going to be working on.
And give your website out again slowly.
Say that again?
Give your website out again slowly.
Oh yeah, it's audiomedium.com. And also, if anybody would like to see about tapping into their own personal channel into the universal mind, if you want to call it that, or spirit guides, or whatever you want to call it, I really found some progress with what I just described there. I mean, I can open those doorways up a bit.
Yeah, well, there you go, Brian. You may get some people contacting you.
Well, yeah, it could happen. It's only been 20 years. I don't know, whatever it is, I got to say, at least I've got consistency. I mean, I've knocked on a lot of doors, and I really have lightened up. I'm working on not expecting anything, and if I could just figure out that that's what I really want, I'd be happy as a clam right now. But we'll see. I mean, like I said, I kind of got obsessive about it, and I put a lot of things on hold. Maybe once I start taking care of the things that are really more important on this earthly plane, because I get pretty wound out. I've spent a lot of hours. When I first got into this, David, before I even had a computer and I was watching the wheels go around and all that and modifying cassette decks, I literally did 30 hours straight with the reverse speech thing. And I'm not joking about that. That's a little.
Yeah, I've done that myself. So, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of thought you might have.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's a real common thing. I mean, I don't think most people do take it to that level, but I mean, I'm just kind of wired that way, and causes problems, but in some ways it's called for to really push hard. I mean, I had a friend that had a dog that he had a real strong will and determination. Bill rolled a bowling ball down into a ravine through blackberry vines, and that dog was going to get that damn ball up the hill no matter what. It took him about 9 hours, and sure enough, he got it up through those blackberry vines up the side of this hill, but he had no skin left on his whole snout.
All right, on that note, Brian, we're out of time, mate. Thank you for coming on the show. We'll have you on again, my friend, okay?
Sounds good, David. I'll look for that book. Take care.
Okay, all right. Everyone, see you next. Would you like to change your life? Maybe access your deepest potential? Do you have blocks that hold you back, or long-term issues you haven't been able to resolve? Then reverse speech session work is for you. With reverse speech session work, your voice is recorded and then analysed for speech reversals. These reversals will give a detailed look into the unconscious mind and pinpoint precise reasons for current behavioural problems. Then following another recording, a series of metaphoric journeys into the unconscious mind are mapped out and delivered to you. These journeys will change deep unconscious structures and hence current behaviour. Change your life today. Sign up for Reverse Speech Session Work. Go to www.reversespeech.com or call 503-568-7077.
Known worldwide as the most consistently fascinating, informative, and unique program on radio, the Jeff Rense program can be yours to listen to anytime, anywhere, whenever you want to hear it. For pennies a day, our subscribers can download any of Jeff's thousands of programs featuring a treasury of newsmakers, researchers, eyewitnesses, and incredible subjects, all in MP3 commercial-free, crystal-clear 56-bit digital sound, and take these often unforgettable programs with them wherever they go. As a subscriber, you can also listen live at airtime, online, anywhere in the world, or browse through our archives of over 6,000 hours of legendary broadcasts. Subscribe now by taking the link at the top of Rense.com and enrich your mind with the most unique panorama of vital information and the best independent, honest journalism in radio. Look for the Subscribe Now link on Rense.com and give yourself the knowledge you need for these unprecedented times. You're listening to the Rense Radio Network, nationwide and worldwide on the net and at Rense.com.